Boom! Hey everybody, Marcus C. Williams here. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about Texas. We're going to talk about natural gas. We're going to talk about President Joe Biden. And let's jump right into it. So, let's start off with what's going on in Texas. So right now we know that the Texas border is having a serious border invasion issue with these illegal aliens. Okay, that's cool. Everybody knows that. No, it's not really cool. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. But it's a real serious issue. The governor has decided to step up and put up some, barbed wire and some shipping containers out there. Yeah, that's a thing to help protect it, and they've sent in their own National Guard, and some other people from other states some other governors have sent them other people to help them assist them in that. And the Biden administration is suing them to make them stop protecting the border and take down the razor wire. It's very, very, very concerning. Because our federal government, which would be Biden's administration and Congress, are obligated and honor bound, but more so obligated by our United States Constitution to protect our border. This is very clearly an invasion. Okay, many of these people are illegal aliens from countries that hate us, and they have no documentation. Many of them have already been arrested multiple times in America. Many of them are on terrorist watch lists. It's very serious what's going on down there. Human smuggling is at an all-time high. Drug smuggling is at an all-time high. We really need to be paying attention to what's going on in Texas. And it's a lot. But one of the most important things is that it's allowed by the Biden administration for there to be tens of thousands of illegal aliens coming across the border every day. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what's going on. And people continue to deny that it's even a problem up until the point where apparently Democrats say, oh, well, now it's an issue. Well, it didn't become an issue yesterday. It's been an issue. Since Biden got in office, he signed a whole bunch of executive orders and stuff, changing the policies in relation to what was going on over there. And he made everything intentionally worse. To what end? I have some very serious thoughts, but that's for another video. So Texas decided that, hey man, they can't keep letting all these illegal aliens in. Well, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to stand up and we're going to do our best to close off the border. Okay. That's fair enough. But why now? Why not before? You could have done it before, but now you're doing it now. Well, now you want to push back really hard? Okay, go ahead. Push back, because it's wrong what's going on down there. But Joe Biden said he's going to push back, and his pushback is ending liquid natural gas shipping and exploration from pretty much anywhere in the country, but really the whole thing is aimed at Texas because they're one of the largest liquid and natural gas producers in the country, and they don't want them to be able to do any more exploratory sites to find any more natural gas. This is very, very concerning. The federal government is punishing a state government for exercising its right to protect its own border, but also on top of that, is trying to harm their economy financially, fiscally. And that's something that we all should be concerned about. So other states have bonded together over the whole issue with not liking what the federal government wants to do, and they've sent assistance down to Texas in form of people to help patrol and secure the border. That's good. That's very good. Yes, there are certain parts of the whole of the border in Texas that are not being adequately protected, but how can you spread so many men so thin? You understand what I'm saying? You can really only think and focus on the more higher traffic areas and put out a couple of people in some other areas that might not be so high traffic. But with all the people coming in on a daily basis, that makes it very, very difficult to do. But when he signed the thing to do basically what you would call a delay or a moratorium, even would be a better word, for liquid natural gas exploration and building and stuff like that. So you can't actually have any more wells or anything for that right now to build. That was an evil, maniacal, concerted effort to hurt the state of Texas financially from the federal government, and that's not acceptable. That is exactly what started World War II. The Civil War. Honestly, I could say that is what started World War II, but it did, but not in America. That's a whole separate conversation about Germany and what happened after World War I with the economy and why World War II came about. But that's what started the Civil War. The state decided that they were going to, when I say the state, in that case, I meant the federal government. The federal government is also referred to as the state because a country is called a state. But that's why we're the United States, because each individual state is its own territory unto itself. It's its own sovereign entity in the guise of a greater whole called our collective republic, our republic. We have a constitutional republic, and that's how we're formed together. So that's very, very serious, because that is how the Civil War started. And people say, well, Marcus, Civil War started because of slavery. That is not wrong, but that's only part of the story. The other part of the story is that it was largely economical. Unfortunately, that economical basis was slavery. But we need to acknowledge that it wasn't about the North wanting to really free slaves. It was about them wanting to hurt the South more than anything. It was that they felt that the South was getting really beyond themselves, and they thought that they could actually do what states do, and that is what is within their own borders they can control and stuff like that. And they said, no, we don't want you to be able to do certain things, in this case largely, again, slavery. But in the fact that slavery was legal in those states, because it was states' rights, and that was purposefully attempted to take away from those states, not because they actually wanted to end slavery, because if you know the actual history of it, all of the states that were northern states did not end slavery right after the Civil War, and that's something that needs to be talked about too. So it was largely to punish the South economically, because that's how they made their money, while the North was a factory, more manufacturing-based thing, which is a whole nother deeper conversation for another time. But the point is that the states felt like they should be able to do certain things that were well within their right, whether I agree with them or not. But the fact is now, thank the Lord, that slavery is hammered out in our Constitution and is completely gone. There is slavery in other ways, but not like shadow slavery like there used to be. Because we got sex slavery, got organ harvesting, and all types of other crazy nonsense going on that really needs to be addressed, but isn't being addressed. But that's, again, not for this video. This is about Texas and what's going on now. So Biden and the Democrats have said, hey, Texas, you can't protect the border because we're supposed to protect the border. Texas is like, okay, you protect the border. Biden's like, we don't want to protect the border. And he's like, okay, I'll protect the border. And he's like, you can't. Biden's like, you can't protect the border because we said no. What sense does that make? The Constitution says that you're supposed to protect the border. The Constitution says that if you're given aid to any foreign adversaries inside the U.S., okay, or invading forces, you are violating the Constitution and you need to get tipped over and poured out. So what are we really doing in our country right now? And they're saying, oh, well, this doesn't reach the caliber to be considered that. Absolutely it does. Absolutely this is an invasion. Absolutely our federal government is giving aid to those who are invading America, thereby making them enemies of the state and the government enemies of the state. And when you say state in that context, you mean the whole nation. This is extremely and egregiously serious. And that's not even talking about, again, the 87,000 children that have been human smuggled into America that were illegal aliens that were completely lost. They don't know where they went. And this is just in the last year. Where'd they go? Poof. Into the air. Lord forbid, I don't even want to think about that, because you lost 87,000 children. 87,000 children? That's crazy. My city only has 200,000 people. That's like half of my city. Just poof, gone, lost, don't know where they went. How do you even do that? But this people is because of the policies that are being put in and implemented by our federal government. Why do they want it like this? You must ask yourself. Why is this okay? You must ask yourself. Are they even in their right mind, and are they actually serving the people? Is what you must ask yourself. Because it seems very much to anybody that's looking or paying attention that instead of serving the American people, they are serving their own selfish interests and serving illegal aliens. Why? What is benefiting them with illegal aliens instead of them trying to make the American people more prosperous? You make it make sense to me. We are in a crisis of enormous proportions. Anything that I would say or emphasize wouldn't do it justice how very serious this is. But our federal government, Joe Biden and his administration, making it so Texas cannot do any more exploratory drilling and stuff for liquid natural gas, to actually start to build a refinery or anything like that. That is a very, very, very scary thought, because this was only and solely done to punish Texas. Because who else does it punish? Well, it will punish Europe too, because that's where most of our liquid natural gas goes, to Europe, because you can't use it in states that really need it, like New York anymore, even though we have a lot in New York and we could just dig into the ground and pull it all right up, but can't do that anymore because New York State hates natural gas now. I don't know why. Like, just a couple years ago, you had Kathy Hochul and Cuomo praising natural gas. Now natural gas apparently is the enemy. Somebody's got to make it make sense to me. It's not good what's going on in our nation. And people need to actually start talking about it. We can make a difference, but we have to do our best to stay informed. So, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on. Make sure you're staying updated, and I'll catch you later. You be blessed, be well, and stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action.